Hey there, Jessica here from jewelrytutorialhq.com. Today I'm going to show you how to make these beaded cross earrings. I thought this would be a fun project for just before Christmas, although of course you can make and wear these at any time of year. I'll have a complete supply list for you in the blog post that goes along with this video, and you'll find a link to that in the description below the video. For the beaded part of the cross, I recommend using a half hard or medium temper wire. I recommend this 22 gauge German style wire. It's a good size and it's the right temper. You don't want to use artistic wire or craft wire because it's going to be too soft and bend out of shape. So the first thing I'm going to do here is use my nylon jaw pliers just to straighten the wire off the coil. And then I'm going to cut a 2-inch piece of wire to start with. And holding the wire in place so that you've got it lined up with the 2-inch mark, you can use your round nose pliers, the very tip, on the 1-inch mark to measure exactly half of the wire, and then hold that spot with your pliers as you fold the wire in half, and then continue to bring both sides around all the way until you've got the wire in a straight line again. So you've got a piece that looks like this. Now we're going to slide on 6 of the size 11/0 beads. Onto one side of that little piece that we just made, and a size 6/0 bead. And we're going to trim this wire here. We're going to trim it to about 4 millimeters, just under 1/4 of an inch, using the back of your flush cutter so you've got a nice flat cut on that end. And then with your round nose pliers, you're going to curl that piece of wire back, and you want to curl it in the same direction that the loop is on the wire. So that's going to be the back of this piece. And then you can grab your chain nose pliers if you feel like you need to, or if you want to, and you can squash this little piece down, and that's going to hold the bead on the end. And then we're going to do the same beading on the other side here. That's 6 of the smaller size beads, the 11/0 seed beads, and then 1 of the larger beads, the 6/0 beads. We're going to do the same on this side. Using a nice flush cut, trim that piece of wire down to about 4 or 5 millimeters, and grabbing the very end of the wire with the tip of your round nose pliers, and just curl that piece back towards the same side that the loop is. And if you want to, then use your chain nose pliers to squeeze it down. So this is going to be the crossbar of our cross. Haha. Now with another piece of wire, starting with a flush cut, and the flush cut helps you get your loop nice and round, by the way. That's why you always start with a flush cut for making your simple loops like these. Then cut a piece of wire that's 2 inches long, and using your round nose pliers, this time a little bit farther down on the plier jaws, we're going to make a slightly larger loop. This is going to be the top of the cross. Make sure the piece of wire is not sticking out so you get a nice round loop, and roll that wire away from you and keep going until you feel that touch the other part of the wire. And then with the very tip of your round nose pliers, one inside the loop and one just outside, bend the loop back so you center it on the wire. So now we've got what's called an eye pin. So we can start adding beads to the eye pin. You're going to thread on 3 of the smaller size beads, 1 of the large beads, and then 2 of the small beads. At this point, we can slide on the crossbar. So we've got the top of the cross there, and then we can add some more of the beads. So 2 more small beads, 1 large bead, then 10 more of the smaller beads. And of course, you can vary this pattern and use different size beads, but I can't guarantee the measurements for the wire are going to work. So you'll have to give yourself a little bit of leeway there if you want to change up the bead size or the pattern. That's 10 of the smaller beads, and then we're going to finish off with one of the larger beads on the end, the bottom of the cross. And here, if you want to make a loop for any reason, you've got plenty of wire to do that with. You can make another simple loop here. You might want to trim off just a little. I'm going to go ahead and finish this end off just like I did the sides of the cross. So first I'm going to trim this down to about 4 to 5 millimeters. Again with the flush cut, the back of the flush cutters. Then I just want to check and make sure that when I curl this back, it's going to be in the right direction as compared to the loop at the top. So I'm just going to reposition that, and I'm going to just roll that back into a tiny little curl and squish it down again with my chain nose pliers to finish that off. So now we've got a cross, but this crossbar is a little bit wobbly. So I'm going to hold this in place by using a smaller gauge wire. This is the 26 gauge wire. And I'm going to cut a piece that's about 8 inches long. Then you want to figure out which is the back side of the cross. So to me, the back is the side where the loop is on the crossbar. And we're going to line up the wire so you've got about 1.5 inches, 2 inches of a short end. Then start wrapping that piece of wire through the X that the cross forms and wrap it around about 5 times, pretty tight. And then you want to end on the back and trim off that extra little piece of wire using the flush cutters. Then you'll want to tuck that end down so it's not sticking out. You can do that using your chain nose pliers. And then we're going to wrap the longer wire around through the other side of the X. So I've turned the cross around facing the other way so I can get this other side here with my right hand. Again, 5 times around. And then you can go through around the other side again 5 more times. You can basically stop at any point where you like the way that it looks as long as it's holding the crossbar nice and still. And on the back, you can use the chain nose pliers to pull the wire tight, snip that off, and then tuck that end down. And chances are good that it's going to be a little bent out of shape from all of that wrapping, so you can just bend it back into place. Then finally, you're going to add the ear wire. To open the ear wire, use your chain nose pliers and twist the loop from front to back. Drop in the loop at the top of the cross and then close that loop on the ear wire back with the same motion that you used to open it in the opposite direction. So all there is left now, of course, is to make your matching earring. I hope you had as much fun with this project as I did sharing it with you. I'd love to see you at my website. Come visit me for more free jewelry tutorials and resources over at jewelrytutorialhq.com. And I'll see you soon. Happy holidays.